The Monee Phillips Show.
You got it, girl.
You got it.
You got it, girl.
You got it.
You got it, girl.
You got
You
it.
the best. You the best. You the best. You the best. You got it, girl.
You got it.
You got it, girl.
You got it.
You the best. You the best. You the best. You the best. You got it, girl. You got it, girl. You got it, girl. You got it, you're the best.
The Monee Phillips Show. Raw and uncut conversation. Every Friday night, 7:30 behind the scene, 8 o'clock showtime. Bring your A game. Cause I'm the best. Now let's do business. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Monee Phillips Show, and I am your host, Monee Phillips. Y'all, I told y'all I was coming back with a bang today on the Monee Phillips Show. October month is domestic violence month, and today we are most definitely got some powerful people up in here today, and also I got my co-host Terry Harris in the house. Man, we've been talking about his tour and everything, what he got going on, and some of his music are gonna be playing in the commercial and all that stuff, so y'all gonna get a chance to hear all of that. But also I have over here, I got a couple guests coming in. I got 2 of them already here, but 1 on the way. But the one we got here right now, next to me, y'all may have seen Michelle Ross in my first episode of my show. And so I brought her back today because she has a story to tell about domestic violence that she had experienced. So this is Michelle Ross, y'all. This is one of my guests. Also, I have over here on my right, I have my homegirl, man, for 17 years, y'all. Y'all, they damn near call her sister, because hell, they always talk about, yeah, that's your sister. Might as well. We been so close, hell, I'm family, everybody. Hey, if you're watching family, I told y'all as I was family. Y'all thought I was playing. I mean, every damn event, every day, I'm talking my own everything. But most definitely, I had to bring my girl on here to talk about her story of domestic violence. We got Maxine Hollers in the house. Right. You know what I'm saying? But you know, this is what I did. She was so nervous today, y'all. So what the hell you nervous for? You with Monee Phillips. What the hell you gotta be nervous for? Get just a little wine and calm your ass down. Bring your ass up. This is just on TV. And no different than you taking pictures at work. Cause we do that shit all the time. We ain't supposed to be doing no goddamn pictures. Every time I drop that mail off, goddamn it, I'm taking a picture with her hand. I'm like, come on, let's step it up. We ain't supposed to be doing none of that shit. But on the Monee Phillips Show, we're going to talk about some good topics and talk about how we can get some help. Somebody out here need to hear this story today about domestic violence. Man, so it's not just women, y'all. Let me let y'all know that. Men are getting abused too.
Right.
And they don't want to say nothing because they feel like they was weak.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something. It's so many women that downgrade men, and that's the reason why they be acting the way they act, because they feel like they don't have no hope.
Right.
Well, I'm here to tell you, there's some hope out here. You better get with Jesus. I like to tell you, because I promise you, that man above going to change your life. But people out here in the street may not tell you everything you want to hear, because all the older people gone, damn, they're gone. You know what I'm saying? The one that gave us wisdom. Right. And if you got some that's still here, man, cherish them, because my grandmama 93 years old, so you know. I'm just telling you. So when you see somebody that speaks some knowledge to you that's older, way older and been there, listen to them. I'm trying to tell you. We all experience this stuff. I wish that I was closer to someone older that could tell me about the life I had lived. You know what I'm saying? The life I was going through, you know what I'm saying, being a young girl and going through domestic violence. And I had one child at the time, and then I got pregnant at a young age again. I said, in my 20s. But, experiencing domestic violence in your 20s and don't know where to go. Don't know who to turn to, who to go to. You know what I'm saying? You have people that say, you can ask me for help, but they don't even know what to tell you to do. Right. They don't know where to tell you to go. And if you ask for the help, you're being a pest. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You're worrying the hell out of it. And then they talking about you like a dog and say, man, she just won't lead it. It's just not that easy, y'all. You know, it takes a lot of courage to lead someone who you claim you love, but they show love in a different way. They beat the mess out of you because of certain things and different things. Maybe because they on drugs they self.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe because they been beaten in their childhood life. They have seen their mama been beat. You know what I'm saying? And it just constantly go on and on and on. And so, like I said, today I'm bringing people on the show. Y'all gonna hear some stories about me. Y'all gonna hear some stories about Michelle Ross. And y'all gonna hear some stories about Miss Hollis. All these stories gonna help somebody out. Now that's why I told you I don't have this show for nothing. So I want people to understand why I bring people on the show. Not just for entertainment purpose, because I do have fun all the time. But sometimes I do take things serious. And today we're gonna take this serious because somebody need to hear this show today. Right. So we're gonna start with Michelle Ross, and we're gonna ask her about the things that she been experiencing. So now, Michelle, I met Michelle, and y'all might have seen Michelle talking about on the first show where she experiencing difficulties with her husband where she had no sex. So, it was a reason why she was like that. You know what I'm saying? None. You know what I'm saying? But she was experiencing stuff. How can you have sex with somebody who are abusive to you? How can you get into their head? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let Michelle talk about her story and introduce herself. So here's Michelle, y'all.
Hello. Many of you know me as Michelle Rawls, and some of you may know me as Lou. Or Lou Rawls. But thanks, Monee, for having me again. Yes. My story, it actually began when I was a little girl. And when people often ask me to speak, I often talk about the subject of codependency. So when you hear that term, a lot of people think that codependency is related to drugs. Well, it's actually anything or anybody that you just cannot let go. It is truly an addiction. Well, my codependency spawned from when I was a child, I was molested by a man, an older man, and a woman. Okay? I was the chubby girl on the block. And by me experiencing that, I didn't know what to think, because at the time in the 70s, it was taboo. In other words, you had to sweep it under the rug. What was told to me was to pray about it. Everything gonna be all right. They called the cops, but guess what? The man who molested me was my next door neighbor.
Wow.
So how could I, as a little girl, go outside, play with the trees, play with the grasshoppers, play with the dog, and you got an old ass man up there winking at you?
Yes, right.
Or rubbing on his privates. How do you think that makes a 9-year-old girl feel?
Exactly.
Amen.
You understand what I'm saying? When you can't run to the other neighbor and they're just as old as the other neighbor, and they'll say, "Child, it's gonna that's just how he is."
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, sweep it on the roof. Yeah.
So as a little girl, and you're not properly taught, and let me say this is not to shame my upbringing, nor the phenomenal woman who raised me, or the phenomenal women who raised me.
That's right.
I'm just telling
You're
it
telling
like
the story.
it is.
That's right.
So when I went to my next door neighbor on the other side and they told me that's just the way he is, well, we discovered that he wasn't only that way with me, that he was that way with a lot of young girls, because we live by a park. Okay? So fast forwarding, when you're taught to be docile or very passive or very forgiving, then you take on that behavior to say, it's gonna be okay. But it's not, because I'm fearful. This man continued to look in my window. I'm 45 years old now, and when that sun is going down, every blind in my house has to be closed. Has to be closed.
Got to be closed.
It has to be closed.
Because you still have that fear. You know what I'm saying? It's there.
Growing up, by the time I was 12, I was raped, and that was brought up to my family, and they told me to sweep it under the rug. And because I was told to sweep it under the rug, it happened again by the same person.
Oh my God.
Who happened to be my cousin. Okay? Now, being an adolescent girl, developing, not properly taught about hormones, what your body is going to experience, the proper way of male but males and females, how you function properly. your mind tends to wonder, well, there's a funny feeling that's going on down here, and I can't help it.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what's all of that taking place. Well, an old man felt on me, a woman felt on me.
Yeah.
So if I decide to, now I'm liking boys.
Yeah.
So if I decide to talk to them, the Keith Sweat is playing, the Luther Vandross is playing, you're going to the dances. So the hot breath against the neck is feeling real good. To you.
Right.
And when you're not properly taught how to really control yourself, you're going to wander off because shoulda, coulda, don't, not, stop. All these negative words ain't going to stop nothing. They're not going to stop anything. So by the time, I'm going to fast forward, by the time I became a senior in high school, remember I told you the guy who raped me again?
Yes.
That was the guy. And it happened to be my best friend at the time's boyfriend. Well, being a senior in high school, that was supposed to be in your best year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I got spit on. I got called a whore because I think he was the captain of the basketball team. He was a very popular guy. He was the best dancer, best dresser. And he came from a family that was very close-knit. I'm not dropping no names,
That's
but people who know me know.
He don't drop
Right.
no names. He on the Monee
So,
Phillips show.
come to find out, I really couldn't go to anybody. I really couldn't because even my best friend turned away.
Yeah.
The girl that I thought was my sister turned away. And she continued to date that boy and had a child by him. So I figured the only thing that could really save me was music.
Yeah.
When I discovered I could sing, music was a world like no other.
Yeah.
It took me places. By the time I was 18, I was a background singer, traveled from 18 to 22, I believe. Well, during that time, I met a young man who seemed that he was my protector.
Yeah.
See, I never had protection in my life. I didn't grow up without my dad. I have an older brother, and I had a younger brother. But we were teens. We were young. In other words, my first husband, when he came on the scene, he was like my protector. Well, I tell you what, nothing like this will never happen to you again. I'm going to take you away from all of this foolishness. But what I did not have was strength.
Yeah.
I believed him.
Yeah.
So anything that he said, I went with it.
Yeah,
Because no one taught me how to be a
and
wife.
You never had and never experienced.
No one
so you
taught me
felt
how to
like,
be a wife.
I want to be.
I didn't have that father figure in my life to say, Shell, this is what you look out for.
Right.
You know, all that feeling and all that stuff. Now you got to control yourself.
Yeah.
This is what dudes do.
Yes,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
No one taught me that.
Yeah.
So I figured because I was such a voluptuous young thing, I knew that, shout out to Luke Campbell, who put us on the map. Because I became very voluptuous, I thought, hey, this was the golden ticket.
Yes, right.
Now I feel beautiful because he's now looking at my breasts, my small waist, my
Yeah.
thick thighs
That's right.
that saved lives. See, before it even came into fruition. But no one taught me about self-love because I was rottening on the inside.
Yeah.
I could still feel that old man touch me at night. I could still feel that woman put her finger inside of me.
Yeah.
See, y'all don't know nothing. Y'all don't know about that Michelle Ross back home.
Right.
I could still feel that when my husband tried to be intimate with me, I could feel everything that old man did to me, and what that woman did to
That's
me,
right.
and what that rapist did
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
You
proud.
never can't. You can't never.
That's the
forget that.
truth.
Yeah. You
Right.
can't never. forget
So I was told to sweep it under the rug. In time, it'll be okay, and it wasn't. So I turned to music, and I turned to food, and I turned to my first husband because my first husband was the first one that told me, I will protect you.
Oh, yeah.
So with that, I'm fast forwarding. With that, I slowly, surely gave up. I didn't even know I had power. I'm just gonna be honest
Yeah.
with you. He controlled the money. He controlled where I worked. He controlled pretty much everything. And I didn't know that was wrong.
Yeah.
But I realized I didn't have a voice. So when I did give an opinion, it was shot down.
Shut down.
And I did this for 16 years until I had enough. How I left my husband, the reason why I left my husband, and I share this with this queen over here, because I went through so much verbal abuse with that man that I wanted to kill him.
I believe that, and it happens like that.
I wanted to
Right.
kill him.
Right.
And once I had to figure out that if I killed my husband, my children would not have a father, and they certainly wouldn't have a mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want my children being reared by the state or being tossed from house to house to house.
Mm-hmm.
So once I left him, went back home, got myself together a little bit, then I met another young man. And I thought I was healed. How you doing, Queen? I thought I was healed from the first, but I wasn't, because I didn't know that I had power. Well, I'm just going to tell you this. Me coming to Memphis, getting married to someone who wasn't married, y'all know my story.
Right.
Getting to married to someone who wasn't ready for marriage was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Right. But y'all, when we come back at this message, we're going to get back with Michelle Rawls about another incident that happened to her. That was just the first one.
Right.
That was just the first one. So we'll be back after these messages, y'all. See y'all in a minute. Woo.
The Monee Phillips Show.
You got it, girl. You got it, girl. You got it, girl. You got it. You the best. You the best. You the best. You the best. You got it, girl. You got it, girl. You got it. You the best. You the best. You the best. You the best. You got it, girl. You got it, girl. You got it, girl. You got it, girl.
The Monee Phillips Show. Raw and uncut conversation. Every Friday night, 7:30 behind the scene, 8 o'clock showtime. Bring your A game. 'Cause I'm the best.
Now let's do business.